Hey guys, what's going on? I'm the self-described nerd, and today I'm coming at you with another video. So, as of recording this, it is currently Thursday, February 26th, and in a couple of hours, I will be seated in the theater about to watch Scream 7. I originally was planning just to do this little short, just record my general thoughts about what I was hoping for with the movie before I go see the movie, and then I would tack it on at the beginning of my review that I'll record later this evening after I've actually, seen the movie. However, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I'm hoping for a lot in this movie, and I've got a lot riding on it, and I realized that this could not just be tacked on to that review. This had to be its own video. So, in this video, I wanted to go over the 7 things that I need to see in Scream 7. Now, before we do so, if you could please like, comment, subscribe. You guys really showed up for the last video. It has over 2,000 views in 1 week, which might not seem like a lot, but, it's the first time a video on my channel has ever done that. So I appreciate you guys for doing that and for getting that video to the lengths it has been. Um, so I just want to say thank you for that. So yeah, appreciate it if you guys could like, comment, subscribe like you did before. So anyway, enough yapping for me. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so number one, the first thing I need is the story to be good. I need the characters to be well written. I need them to be likable. I need this movie to be good. I need a compelling mystery that gives you a chance to solve who is Ghostface, but doesn't make it too obvious. It's looking like these are going to be the new characters that we're going to be following in the franchise, so I need them to get me to care about these characters. I need to care for Sydney's daughter. I need to care for her friends. So they need to be well written, and they need to get me to like them, because they're already going in at a disadvantage because I grew attached to the core four, and now half of them are not here. So it's definitely going to be harder for me to get to like these new characters. So they're already coming in at a disadvantage. So they need to make me care about these characters. So number one is a good story. Alright, my number two on my list is some memorable sequences. Every Scream movie has at least one sequence that's super memorable. Scream 1, it's the entire movie. Scream 2 has Cece's murder and then the ghost face of the car. Scream 3 has the chase scene through the Stab 3 set. Scream 4 has Olivia's murder and the Stabathon. Scream 5 had Dewey's death scene and then the reveal that they were in Stu Macher's house. Scream 6 had the bodega attack and the ladder scene, as well as the attack in Gail's apartment. So all the Scream movies have had some really fantastic and memorable set pieces. And I need something like that for this movie. Something that whenever I go to tell people, oh my gosh, I loved it, I can point to that scene, and that is the very first thing that pops into my mind. From the trailers, the scene in the crawl space looks to be pretty suspenseful, so I feel like that could end up being the standout scene in the movie, but I won't know until tonight. But I need sequences that are going to make this movie stand out, that makes this one just not another Scream sequel, is one that I will never forget. So number two is memorable sequences. Alright, number three, I have a sensible reveal. One of the things that bugged me with Scream 6 was the fact that the Ghostface reveal was so contrived and illogical. I mean, faking Quinn's death, it didn't really do anything except for trick the audience. And the fact that they said, they switched her body out with a fresh one. Well, what are you planning to do when that body shows up at the coroner's office and they're like, this is not Quinn Bailey, or Quinn Bailey. So that's one. And two, they're planning to get away with it, but Quinn is supposed to be dead, so she's just gonna live in isolation for the rest of her life. I don't think so. So it really didn't make a lot of sense. So with this time around, I'm hoping the reveal is much more thought out. And obviously there's not going to be 100% perfect, but I really need them to try their absolute best. And make this one a little bit more logical than the last one. Have fake outs, yes, but serve the narrative. And it's, not just trying to trick the audience, have it add an actual narrative purpose. The motive also needs to be spot on as well. Again, going back to Scream 6, I like that movie. I like 75% of that movie. When it comes to the reveal, it was a repeat motive, and that made me so mad. I don't want to see a repeat motive. We already did this. I don't want to see another revenge plot. I don't want to see another person going for fame. Do not reuse a plot. or a killer motive from a previous movie. Do not do it. It is going to just rehash other ones. It's going to make it less original, and it's going to make this one seem like it just does not need to exist any more than it already does. So please do not do it again. So number 3, I have a sensible reveal. Alright, moving on to number 4. I have switching up the formula. I mean, I feel like we say this every single time, but we are on the 7th installment in this franchise, okay? We know the formula, and it has gotten pretty stale. Ghostface kills somebody in the opening sequence. A bunch of people die. They get locked in the location. The killer reveals himself, does their monologue, slips up, gets killed, movie over. We've seen it done to death. There was only a couple where they tried to go against the formula. Scream 6 did make some efforts to change up the formula, but at the end it was super formulaic. And Scream 4 was fairly formulaic for the most part, but then with the ending and Jill getting away with it for a little while was something different. And that's what I want to see from this movie. Get creative, get inventive, have the killer reveal early on, have a more long and drawn out finale. Finally have one of the killers survive. Do something that sets this one apart. Do something that says, hey, this is the reason why we wanted to make this one, other than, obviously, to make money. But we wanted to try something new, and not just do what came before. So, at number 4, I have switching up the formula. Alright, moving on to number 5, I have strong commentary. If you ask the majority of Scream fans, what sets the original apart is the commentary. The commentary is what has driven us to this franchise. Scream has always been an extremely meta franchise, and we love it because of that. Scream 1 was devoted to talking about horror movies and their formulaic nature and the tropes and all that. Scream 2 commented on the sometimes repetitive nature of horror movie sequels. Scream 3 talked about trilogies in the horror space. Scream 4 talked about the remake trend of the 2010s, as well as the proliferation of torture porn films. Scream 5 talked about legacy sequels and elevated horror and requels and all that. But then when we got to Scream 6, there wasn't a lot of commentary. I mean, they were talking about like franchises and stuff, but it was just kind of an afterthought. It was just like, oh shoot, this is a Scream movie. We gotta do this, I guess. Franchise, yeah, it's franchises, obviously. So I'm really hoping that this time around there is some sort of meta commentary that is their through line, that is their main point, that is what they're talking about, that is their purpose for making this movie. I need that commentary to be strong. I need it to be relatable, because that is, in my opinion, the best part of these films. I mean, you could watch any other slasher movie where a mass killer goes around stalking people, but Scream has always been that meta where it could happen. It's the real world. They've seen the real horror movies that we have. So, make it meta, make it strong. Alright, so number 5, I have a strong commentary. At number 6, I have nostalgia that serves a purpose. Now, I know a lot of people roll their eyes at nostalgia in movies because it has become really overdone in recent movies. But hot take, I don't mind the nostalgia as long as it serves a purpose. Jumping off to another, series of films, but people were mad at Deadpool, Wolverine, and No Way Home just because it had nostalgic cameos. But, I mean, I grew up with those films and they were, being nostalgic towards, so, it doesn't bother me. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you got movies like the new Know What You Did Last Summer, which, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, but, it's dumb. So they had, like, the whole movie, they got all this, like, recreation of old scenes and all this nostalgia. So you think, like, you're making it for the original fans, but then you turn around and, oh, wait, no, Ray's the killer. So we're just going to smack you in the face with that. So you're playing to fans of the original with the nostalgia, but then at the same time, we're making one of your original characters the killer. So, haha, screw you. So there is a way to do nostalgia right, and then there is a way that is just fan servicey. Going back to Scream 6. I don't hate Scream 6. I actually really like Scream 6, but you would never know it from this video. But, they had the Ghostface shrine, and while that was cool to see, like, what was the purpose for that? Like, yeah, I guess Richie horror movies and stuff, but realistically, if you set that final act in a random warehouse, it would not change the story. So, other than the fact that they wouldn't have a bunch of cool Ghostface memorabilia to show in the trailers. So, obviously, this one is going to be leaning on nostalgia as well because they have announced Rowan and Dewey and Stu. All their actors are coming back. So there's definitely some sort of nostalgic attachment they're going for. but I need them to serve a purpose in the story. I need that nostalgia to have some sort of reasonable being for there, other than, hey, we got the people that you like. It could just be a very, keys jangle, like, ooh, look at this, look at this. It's the people that you like. Clap, clap, clap. So I don't want that. I want the nostalgia to serve the purpose, add to the story. Don't just be, hey, look at that thing. It's the thing that you like. Clap. I need them to comment on it. I need them to make sense with the story. So at number 6, I have nostalgia that serves a purpose. And finally, number 7 is Stu. Stu. You all know how much I love Stu. I made a whole video about it. And, I'm so excited that he's coming back. And I need him to be in this movie. I need him to either. Obviously, him in the flesh is my number 1 priority. Please, 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 please bring him back. I need him to be back. But if, we want to, be realistic and stuff, and he's not actually here, but he's AI or something, like, I need him to be front and center. I need him to not just be like one scene where his voice just shows up randomly. Like, no, I need connection to Stu. I need people to talk about him because, he's been on the poster and they announced it and they made this whole big deal about it. They've been really they haven't been over marketing him, but he's been in, his voice has been a couple of the trailers. There's been like a TV, like a couple like things they posted on their YouTube channel. They were like showed a clip of, Stu for the original, like, what's the thing he says, like, wait a second, I'll be right back, and then he like backs up to go get Neil, and they like captioned it like, I still have a thing for you, Sid. Like, they're really, really, really leaning into, like, he's back. They're not overdoing it, but they're definitely hinting at it. So I need him not to be a quick 5-second voice cameo. Like, I need a good amount of Stu, because that's really the thing I'm most excited for in this film. Yeah, Scream's my favorite horror franchise, and obviously I'm always going to be there day one, but Stu is, my favorite. I love Stu to death. So please give him a role in this movie. Make him do something. I mean, please bring him back in the flesh, because if they don't, that whole video I did is going to look really stupid, and it's not going to age well in a couple of hours. But please, give him a large role. Do not give him 2 seconds of screen time, a voice cameo, a quick face. I will be so mad. I will be so mad, guys. That's going to tank my review if they don't do it. So at number 7, I have Stu. Just Stu. Give me Stu. So there we go. 7 things that I need to see in Scream 7. So that is where my expectations are at for this film. Like I said, I'm looking at the clock, and we're finished recording this. It's around 11. So that means I've got like 7 hours until I am seated in that theater watching, the 50 minutes of previews that they have at AMC. Gotta love AMC. But I'm so excited. So that's where my expectations are at. I'm hoping that they meet them. I haven't looked up any reviews. I haven't looked up the critic score audience. None of that. I'm going in completely blind. I haven't been staying away from trailers. I've seen, like, obviously the main and all that, but they released the final trailer, and final trailers are often very spoilery, so I did not watch that. So I am going in as blind as I possibly can be. So I'm really, really fingers crossed, hoping that it does good. So expect my review hopefully before midnight tonight. I'm hoping to get that done. I already made the thumbnail. I just got to record the audio, but obviously I can't record the audio until I see the movie. So, alright, so if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and tell me, what are you hoping for in this film? And obviously keep the discussion spoiler free. But, if you have seen this one, you're coming back later, like, what do you think? Were these reasonable explanations? Was I crazy? Did I asking too much? Anything at all, just let me know down in the comments. But I've been the Self-Described Nerd, and I'll catch you guys later.